Hey everybody, David the AI Guide here. Welcome to a new week on the AI Guide where we're making AI human. What does that mean? It means we focus on the human impact of AI and all the associated exponential technologies that are enabled by AI, such as 3D printing, autonomous driving, and more. And I've sort of stayed away from this the last couple of weeks. Everyone and their mom has jumped on it. That's why. But there was an interesting conversation that I wanted to relay to you with Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and it's about GPT-4 and 5. So here we go. This article was in The Verge, hat tip to them. In a discussion about threats posed by AI systems, Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO and co-founder, you all know who the other co-founder of OpenAI was, Elon Musk, has confirmed that the company is currently not training GPT-5. And Altman was asked about a recent open letter circulated in the tech world that requested that labs like OpenAI pause development of the AI systems more powerful than GPT-4. However, this article says, just because OpenAI is not working on GPT-5 does not mean that it's not expanding the capabilities of GPT-4, which means it is expanding those capabilities. Altman's comments highlight a significant challenge in the debate about AI safety, the difficulty of measuring and tracking progress. I'll talk about that after this article, which is short. How do you measure and track progress in OpenAI? I have a few thoughts on that. The fallacy of version numbers is one of the things that this article mentions. The idea that numbered tech updates like GPT-3, 3.5, and 4 reflect definite and linear improvements in capability. We know that's not true because AI is exponential. This person says these are really just marketing tools, these numbers, and he likens it to the way cell phones are numbered. The next one, I think Apple will be the iPhone 15 or something like that. But it's really a marketing thing, not a technology thing to do that. And the guy goes on to say, because of the overlap between the worlds of consumer tech and artificial intelligence, this same logic is now often applied to systems like OpenAI's large language models. So he's saying you can't go by these numbers. This is not to dismiss fears about AI safety or ignore the fact that these systems are rapidly improving and not fully under our control. And that is the why there's concern about safety of AI systems, is that they are not fully under human control. I think the focus in these discussions should be on capabilities, on demonstrations of what these systems can do and cannot do, and predictions of how this may change over time. And he mentions that OpenAI is still working on GPT-4 and enhancing it, for example, by connecting it directly to the internet so it can keep scraping off all the data from the internet. And GPT-4 data was cut off at the end of 2021. So all of 2022 and the few months of 2023 are not reflected in the database of GPT-4. Even if the world's governments were somehow able to enforce a ban on new AI developments, it's clear society has its hands full with those systems already available. So let's break this down. First of all, I have said, and I'll stick by it, that especially here in the United States, less so in Europe, regulation of AI is extremely unlikely. Just like regulation of business in general is being pushed back against here in the United States. Now, Europe has a different outlook on that, and some of the Asian countries do. Near-term regulation of AI is unlikely, I think, mostly because, at least for here in the US, the people in Congress don't understand it. Virtually none of them are technologists with any real understanding of the inner workings of AI and other technology. That they're mostly lawyers, a few are business people, some doctors, but I can't think of a single congressperson with a heavy tech background. I'm sure there is, but none of them spring to mind right now. The other thing was, and I'll go back to it, how do you measure progress in AI? And I think you do it year by year, right? So there's a separate article that I just read that I'm not going to do a video on about more or less AI has been around for decades. Yes, my viewers know that. If you watch the first videos that I did that gives the history of AI, this person was talking about expert systems back in the 80s and 90s, but he didn't call them that, but that's what he was talking about. So basically AI early on and always until very, very recently, and you could argue still is about prediction. These large language models are about prediction. For example, when you're typing in your email service or in Word, you get instant prediction of the rest of the sentence. It's very clear watching that over the last few years, the remarkable improvement in that. I've said it before on other videos, going back to just 5 years ago, 2018, that ability was basically incompetent. The part of systems at that time and email systems and Word would predict wrong words, misspell words, predict the whole wrong thing. When you would talk to Siri, it would misunderstand most of what you said. That was still mostly true in 2019. In 2020, these systems got much better. Why? GPT-3, that's why. That was the big breakthrough that made these prediction systems get demonstrably better. And then chatgpt, that can write a paper instantly, that can pass any exam, is a whole other step change further. And that was in November of 2021. So from 2018 to 2021, stunning change in the predictive ability of AI systems. Stunning change. All enabled by what? You guys all know this already. Cloud computing and neural nets. GPT-4 is another step change over ChatGPT. Why? GPT-4 can pass the bar exam in any state in the country. That's why, where many humans fail the bar exam the first time when they take it. Not everybody, of course. There's people who pass the bar exam first time, but not most, especially in states where the bar exams are notoriously tough, like California and New York. So I think that the way to understand how AI systems are progressing is sort of obvious. It's all around you. It's all around you in the tools we use every day. Email, Word, Siri, whatever the Google equivalent is, because I have an Apple phone. Robotics. They have robots wandering around stores now all on their own. That did not happen more than 2 years ago in public stores. They were fenced off so that they couldn't get near people. Why? Because they would run into people and hurt people. So the evidence is really starting to get all around us, right? How about all the car ads that show people taking their hands off the steering wheel? Another clear example that was not in any car ad only 2 years ago. Clearly, AI is exponentially progressing. That's why I started the AI guide to prepare you for this future. But when it comes to AI safety and regulation, any regulation is always going to be way behind the current state of AI, because most of what AI does today is still in the background. It's still unseen. That doesn't mean that regulation in certain circumstances shouldn't be considered and attempted. How far do we want AI to go in the military? That's a very legitimate question, in my view. So anyway, interesting story out of The Verge. Thanks so much. Please like, subscribe, and share. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we'll see you next time.